Okay. That's Dr. Milton Apple Milton Obote's grave.
We know that in history, when Milton Obote, the doctor, and the president of this country, once he made an alliance with the Kabaka Yeka, everybody knows that.
It doesn't mean I am not breaking inside. Please. I am asking this one, and I'm asking you people at the front bench. Tell the president, stop this. It's wrong.
I told you it is not a personal matter. Why do you think Museveni is all that important in this country? First of all, he's not a citizen. He's not a citizen. Why is he? He lost an election. He has no party which is viable in this country. Because he's a gunman.
Up to the 15th of January, we're going to fight. We're going to fight. We're going to fight. Up to the 15th of
Failure to do so, we have showed you in the pictures. But we are going to vote a fellow young man who is still giving us hope in the names of Chagulani. We are going to vote for him. Until you have to understand that we are going to vote for him.
You're watching Mordecai Marissa Live Political Commentary. Please consider subscribing to help grow Uganda's Voices of Struggle ecosystem. Thank you.
I cannot appreciate you enough for using your valuable time to always go on social media, break down things for people.
And yes, indeed, presenting to you from these United States of the America, good afternoon, or good morning, and good evening from wherever you're watching me. My name is Mordecai Marissa, and you're watching Mordecai Marissa Live. Exactly. I want to say thank you so much for whoever that is tuning in. And all of you folks who have joined the Mordecai Marissa Live community. How do you do that? By subscribing to this feed. Just hit the subscription button, like this video, share it with folks out there, and make sure that, yes, you join the conversation by engaging in the comments section. Okay? I'm pretty much enjoying the campaigning season, the election season, as I should. And I'm really, really, really enthused by the momentum of the Bobi Wine campaign. I was joking with a friend of mine a few days ago, and I said, the only advice I have from Museveni campaign is for them to pack up and leave. They've really, really failed. What an abysmal strategy. Whoever is paid to strategize for the Museveni campaign should be fired immediately. What an appalling job they're doing. Anyways, can we have a conversation? Are you ready? This one is going to be interesting. Sure? Okay. Let me know if you're ready, and I will let you know that I am. I'm sure you are. Let's do this. All right. On his way to a park, Bobi Wine, the president of the National Unity Platform, was able to visit the president of the Uganda People's Congress and a son to former president of Uganda, Dr. Apaa Milton Obote. Now, Bobi Wine did something that many of us didn't see coming. He went, or you'd say that he paid tribute to the grave of Uganda's former president, Dr. Apaa Milton Obote. And how did he do this? He went and laid a wreath of flowers alongside a national flag. Pretty much a huge, powerful gesture that was pretty much loaded with political symbolism. And you could argue, what are these, or what is this political symbolism? I mean, using a Ugandan flag and laying it on the grave of former president of Uganda, it is, hey, you might have made a few mistakes, but after all, you are a Ugandan, and we look at you as a Ugandan. And they went on to have a conversation that left many people having a conversation, actually debating whether Bobi Wine and Jimmy Akena should form an alliance. It won't be the first time, to see such an alliance in Uganda. Remember, Uganda People's Congress back in the 60s formed an alliance with Kabaka Yeka. So this could be another mega alliance that is pretty much needed at this moment. I'll show you what really happened. Then I'll show you a few weeks ago, there were a group of youths from northern Uganda who were saying they would rather see Jimmy Akena on the ballot, or they would support Bobi Wine. Should we start with that? No, let's start with this, and then I'll show you what I'm talking about. This is Bobi Wine being driven to the graveside. That's Jimmy Akena with Bobi Wine. And started with a Ugandan flag. Okay. That's Dr. Milton Obote's grave. So Ugandan flag. And they gave him laid a wreath of flowers on the grave as well, and then saluted it. He's accompanied by Lina Zedriga, the deputy president of the NUP Northern Uganda.
So I say, this
many are arguing this is what you can refer to as a political masterstroke. No one saw this coming. And Bobi Wine didn't have to do this. But why is he doing this? That's what I'm going to explain. And argue in favor of an alliance between UPC or Jimmy Akena and Bobi Wine. Okay. I told you about a few weeks ago when you had young people, not young people, but basically supporters of Jimmy Akena saying, we want Jimmy Akena to be on the ballot. It's either the ballot with Jimmy Akena on, or we are voting for Bobi Wine. Here's the thing.
Uganda People's Congress, as we are gathered here, we know that in history, when Milton Obote, the doctor, and the president of this country, once he made an alliance with the Kabaka Yeka, everybody knows that. And therefore, if Jimmy Michael Akena is not going to be on ballot, we have showed you our alliance, and we mean it as the youth, and we are going to stand for it as the youth. We shall support it, and we shall go for it, because we know that you want us to boycott elections, but we are not going to boycott it, because that is the advantage you want to take to do your own influence. Therefore, my youth and the youth wing of UPC, we are going to support, and we still say that let Akena be on ballot 2026.
Natural, I don't know.
This is the war, not against the people of Uganda People's Congress, not against all of the people of Northern. This is the war, not against Ugandans and the interests of Ugandans. I say this and declare for God and my country that on the first, I cannot be nominated without any failure.
I hate to be the bearer of the bad news. Actually, it's not even news. He wasn't nominated. You know that. Jimmy Akena went on to cry in the Ugandan parliament about these moves he believes that are being orchestrated at the behest of Yoweri Kaguta Museveni.
Akena kneeling in Kololo when the national anthem for Uganda is being played. But that doesn't mean I'm not hurt. It doesn't mean I am not breaking inside. Please, I am asking this one, and I'm asking you people at the front bench, tell the president, stop this. It's wrong. It is wrong. UPC has been accused of rigging elections. This is a chance I have as Jimmy Akena to set that record straight. You won't even let me get past the gate. Is this an election or is this a farce? I'm ready to go through this.
It is a complete farce, but you know what makes it difficult is you having your wife serving in the criminal regime. It is really, really irony as it comes. If your wife serves in the criminal regime, Hassoff cannot call out the president he serves. So it is a complete farce. And I don't understand why folks like you continue to debase themselves, to reduce yourself to some sort of beggars in front of Museveni. Museveni is breaking the law. He should be called out. You have a huge, huge base from your region, but you still want to plead at the mercy of Museveni? Let's get back to this. I wanted to show you something. I think it was your dad who was asked about what Museveni really wanted back in the 80s. Remember, we should sing about this over and over again. We should make songs out of this. Museveni lost the 1980 election. He claims that it was Paul Kawanga Ssemwogerere who was cheated. But Museveni decided to launch a war against the Obote government. How is this even possible? How does this even make sense? After winning war, the 1980 to 1986 war, he didn't give this power to Paul Kawanga Ssemwogerere. And you may argue that, hey, the selfishness of man cannot do that. No one has ever done that. I understand that. But he cannot continue keeping this firm grip on power in 2025, after him promising that, hey, what I'm bringing is a fundamental change. It is not a mere change of guards. The problem of Africa leaders who overstay in power. Guess who has overstayed in power? Now, I know he went on and amended what he said. Oh, what I meant was actually, who stay in power through ultra-constitutional means? And that's you. People are abducted, tortured, many are killed. Others are disappeared. We've seen reports over and over again of electoral malpractices. It's you. So, even the amendment of your own rhetoric or your own words doesn't save you at all. But this is what happens. Okay, let's go listen into Apaa Milton Obote when he was asked, what does Museveni want? And he said, I really don't know.
But what do you think you are wearing Museveni wants through fighting? What is he after?
I don't know. If I knew, I would be very happy, because I really don't know. Museveni was a member of the military commission.
Exactly.
He was number 2 in the military commission. He and the rest of the members of the military commission organized elections. And soon after elections, he decided to fight.
Exactly. You know, Museveni usually wants to portray himself as some sort of an outsider. He was part and parcel. Actually, you can go back. He's always said he was fighting Idi Amin. He started engaging in politics in the 1960s, and then he was fighting Idi Amin and under from NASA and stuff. Then in the 1980s, he was part of the military commission. They organized an election. He lost. He went on to wage a war. And for what? A country lost over 500,000 people. So that a narcissistic sociopath and psychopath can be in power for almost 40 years, and he wants to be in power for 45 years. Gosh.
And he hasn't progressed very much. In his own area where he was born, he's not effective, he's not known, and he's a refugee himself in another part of Uganda. So I really don't know what he wants.
Whatever the wrongs of his case, wouldn't it save a lot of life and a lot of money to talk to him?
I told you it is not a personal matter. Why do you think Museveni is all that important in this country? First of all, he's not a citizen.
First of all, he's not a citizen. Hey, Jimmy Akena, this is your dad saying that Museveni is not a citizen of Uganda. Now, I cannot substantiate that, those allegations, but I've had many people say that Museveni is not a Ugandan. I don't know that to be true. But this is Obote saying Museveni is not a Ugandan. But he asked a very important question. Why do you think Museveni is that important? And Museveni believed he was because he was a rebel willing to kill people.
To talk to him.
I told you it is not a personal matter. Why do you think Museveni is all that important in this country? First of all, he's not a citizen. He's not a citizen.
Where is he?
He lost an election. He has no party which is viable in this country. Because he's a gunman. Your name is Robin. Do you remember the history of England called Robin Hood?
I do.
Yes? Is it worthwhile talking to Robin Hoods of this world? Bader-Meinhof in Germany? The Irish Republic army people? Is it worthwhile talking to such gangsters and terrorists?
You say he's not a citizen. What do you mean by that?
Because his father was not born in Uganda. And that is the constitutional basis. So he cannot
Okay, we can go into that.
be a citizen.
You can go on and watch, listen to that conversation. But hey, he mentioned something at the center of the Museveni mindset. He's a gunman. He's a gunman. And he was a gunman in the 1980s. And up to now, he continues to consolidate power through ways of manipulation, domination, coercion, and controlling people. He's a gunman. But back to a very important conversation or something that really happened, that, like I told you, that the alliance that could be brewing between Bobi Wine and the UPC or Jimmy Akena. Now, you might be wondering, Mordecai, what do you think about this alliance? Like I said, I truly think that Jimmy Akena, if he truly wants to clean the name of his dad and reposition the Uganda People's Congress, he should form an alliance with Bobi Wine. I mean, there's so many reasons I wrote down here. But one of them is the number one thing that would really bring them to form an alliance. It is their shared opposition to Museveni. Both of them claim to oppose Museveni. I don't know if he really means it, but if he makes you cry, he will use all nefarious tactics to bar you from running because he knows your popularity within that region, and you still somehow having a soft heart for him. So there's that. There's a shared opposition to Museveni between you and Bobi Wine. But two, this could be one of the most strategic opportunity to reclaim the influence the UPC had. We could argue, historians have actually documented this. UPC was, and it still actually has, so many people that love it across Uganda. It had a very, very strong base in Bushenyi, where I was born. Don't you want to go back to those old days? Rebuild and have that influence that you had in the 60s and 80s. But the more we see you aligning with Museveni in a subtle way, the more we're like, do these folks actually learn from history? Do they? Because if your dad was accused of being some sort of a dictator, then how do you align with a current day dictator, Museveni? In order to strategize and create an opportunity to reclaim the influence you had, it is to completely detach from the Museveni regime. Is this possible? A thing you would consider? I would think so. And then, on the side of Bobi Wine, this would be some sort of a symbolic alignment with the Obote legacy. Now, Obote is a man that has so many flaws, so many stains on his cloth. But somewhere, many people probably would argue they would rather have Obote instead of Museveni. I usually do not want to engage in that conversation because it is comparing two wrong things. But maybe that one, having had an alliance that really happened in the first place, the KY and Obote, and UPC, maybe this could be an alliance that would bear reasonable, that would give us reasonable impacts or outcomes. This is the time. But then, even aligning with or making an alliance with Bobi Wine, it helps you maximize some electoral impact. You have a very huge influence in your region. And how many members of parliament do you have from your region? And where do they belong? But if you are able to form an alliance like your people are asking you, then you could be able to maximize the electoral impact And in the end, you could have a say in the next government. Why do you allow to be dominated and controlled by a man who doesn't really care about the legacy of your dad? There's been several times where Museveni has berated, ridiculed the legacy of your dad. And at this moment, you allow him to make you cry, but you still want to align with him? But then, I usually hear Norbert Mao talk about the need for conversation, national conversation, and national forgiveness and reconciliation. But maybe this is actually a practical, tangible, reasonable alliance between Bobi Wine from Uganda and a son of Apaa, Milton Obote. So the alliance would be a historical moment for the political reconciliation, national forgiveness, and progress. This would be practical. You have the most influential, most popular politician in Uganda who comes from a kingdom that has, whose actually subjects have some sort of vendetta against Obote over what he did to Mutesa II. So maybe Bobi Wine could be the one that would lead a way for meaningful reconciliation. I remember I was a kid when Dr. Apaa Milton Obote died. And I remember going to Mutesa II Stadium in Wankulukuku. And what I witnessed, I was a little boy. There were, I think, there were hundreds of people there. And they made, they were lifting a dog. And many people chanting, "This is Obote's hair." We can try to clean the legacy of the late Dr. Apaa Milton Obote. So this is an opportune moment that has presented itself. Will Jimmy Akena rise to the occasion? Or is he still going to be engulfed by the Museveni strategy, tactics and strategies of threatening you? If you do this, I'm going to kill you, I'm going to abduct you. What happened to men and women of courage? What really happened? But this is an opportunity I think Jimmy Akena should grab, not even with a second thought. Should be like, okay, I'm going with this. Your people have actually asked you. It is either you on the ballot or they are behind Bobi Wine. I think I was watching a video here, and you have quite a. Let me see here. I think. Why did I see that video? Tremendous influence. Okay, I think I'm gonna have to put it here. Let me show you. You have tremendous influence and support within your region. How about you rise to the occasion and be like, okay, I think I'd rather turn this into meaningful victory in one or the other. I'm sorry, the video is not as clear as I would want it to be. But I was showing you, I think it's this one.
January, we're going to fight. We're going to fight. We're going to fight. I will continue. I don't know if you people remember the Manu of yesterday, not the one of today. Manu of the other days. You never write off Manu, even if it's 88 minutes, Manu is still playing. Until the final whistle goes, you do not stop playing, you do not stop fighting until the final whistle.
Okay, he says we will fight, we will fight.
Not over. Up to the 15th of January, we're going to fight, we're going to fight, we're going to fight.
Okay, the question now is, are you going to fight? Because they barred you from running for president. Are you going to fight? Your people have said it is either you or Bobi Wine. So do you betray your people to impress Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, or you actually support them? I think I'll have to play you this video right here when this lady was speaking.
Lango kono,
UPC,
Teso kono,
UPC,
Buli kono,
UPC,
Buli Kono.
so
UPC.
Thank you very much. My name is Akelo Joyce. I am the district female youth councillor for Kabera Maido district.
So are you going to betray the district woman councillor for Kabera Maido district? She said, accompanied with supporters of UPC, saying it's either you or Bobi Wine. This is a very, very important test for Jimmy Akena.
And a candidate for Woman Member of Parliament 2026 for Kabera Maido district here at the youth wing of the Uganda People's Congress, who are here to express their interests, their intention, their level of disappointment to what is happening to our party president. Duly as the youth, we the youth of Lango, we the youth of Acholi, the youth of all over the country.
And you see the pictures of Bobi Wine and Akena
We are demanding
in the background.
for the nomination of our party president, Jimmy Michael Akena.
He wasn't nominated.
With immediate effect, because for us as the youth of the youth wing of UPC, we know that we have a candidate we have presented. As young people, we said Akena is not only a president, but is the hope of the nation, is the hope of the young people. For us who are frustrated by the manner at which this government is treating us, we must be able to have a position where we cast our votes, a position where we feel that when we put in our votes, we can be able to have some hope for a new future, we can be able to have some hope for a new Uganda, we can be able to have some hope that we as young people, we shall be somewhere in this country. Look at the level of education. We are unemployed. We the youth, you see us here. We are just there. Therefore, the Electoral Commission of Uganda, we are demanding for the nomination of our party president, Jimmy Michael Akena, with the effect from the day they are going to rule, let the ruling be on behalf and in the favor of the people of the Uganda People's Congress. For us as the youth, we shall not boycott election, but we are going to give a protest vote. As you see us here, we are here to give a protest vote. Therefore, if you want to retain the hope of Northern, nominate for us Jimmy Michael Akena as our candidate for the presidential race of 2026 without fail. Failure to do so, we have showed you in the pictures, but we are going to vote a fellow young man who is still giving us hope in the names of Chagulani. We are going to vote for him. Until you have to understand that we are going to vote for him. And I want to welcome the people here to give in your voices, the women, the young men who are here, to give in your voices on this matter. We want this done with immediate effect. This is the demand from the majority of the population in this country. We are the majority of the population in this country. Therefore, Jimmy Michael Akena must be nominated with effect forth and there and then. I want to welcome the youth leader.
Well, we won't be listening to the youth leader, but you get it. So is Jimmy Akena betraying these people to impress the old man, the old dictator? Or does he actually listen to these people? His people are asking for an alliance. They're calling for an alliance between Bobi Wine and UPC. What do you think? Do you think Bobi Wine should be forming an alliance with the UPC, or he doesn't need to? And if you're from northern Uganda, do you want to share this video with folks within the UPC and tell them, hey, this is what we think? And they might be thinking that you're joking. I think these folks should be organizing rallies or events within the northern Uganda region or district of Kabera Maido, where they have posters of Bobi Wine. Let them invite Bobi Wine. Let them be the one to mobilize people to vote for Bobi Wine. The only reason as to why Museveni didn't want Jimmy Akena to run for president is because of his influence within the region. But he might be actually giving Bobi Wine a far, huge opportunity to dominate and win the region. What do you think? Down in the comment section, I would really, really, really appreciate your feedback. My name is Mordecai Modisa. Until we catch up again, bye-bye for now.
Did you enjoy what you just watched?
I'm sure they did.
I'm going to guess that you did. How about you consider subscribing to Mordecai Marissa Live YouTube channel? Thank you.